can players then make that split-second decision? I mean, at
Absolutely.
watching the game, we can't tell, it's moving fast. So they have the ability then to back off or to not, lay the wood on someone, so to speak?
I believe so. I mean, we think about this. We're all well-tuned athletes, and the game slows down much more for us, which is why we were able to play in the NFL, than normal. So when you're watching it on TV, it's significantly slower for us. So there's a difference when you see a defensive back dive in the air. You can really uncoil on somebody from that position while you're still in the air to add that extra oomph into it. When I played and I really wanted to make a quarterback feel it, not only did I lift and drive, but there was a little bit more of the snap down where I really put the quarterback down on the ground. That's illegal now, but that was a technique that I would use when I wanted to make sure the quarterback felt it. I wasn't trying to hurt him, but I wanted to make sure that he understood when 74 was coming, he needed to go ahead and drop it, or he was going to be scared, throw an interception or something. But that's that mind game that you're playing with it. You can control that. So in the end of my career, when that was illegal for me to drive and plant, I just would hit and just lay up. You could still put the blow on them, but the drive and plant changes. Same thing. I could be in the air. There's a difference between being in the air and doing this and really giving it more, or being in the air, give them the hit and let them fall, wrapping them up and just bringing them down to the ground. And those are things that you can control. You really can.
Yesterday's football is a lot different than today's football, obviously. I found it interesting at the beginning of this year's playoffs, before they started. The New York Jets were the number one ranked defense, and they were also the top ranked rushing team. Now, yesterday's football, that's a formula for success. You stop the run, you run the ball, you play good defense. But what I found interesting is that started, they had the lowest odds to win the Super Bowl. The team that ran the ball the best and defended it the best were the long shot here in the tournament for the Super Bowl. Have the rules changed to make it a quarterback league, as everyone says? I mean, do you need to have an elite passer to get to a Super Bowl nowadays?
I think so. And a lot of it's because of the rules changes that have been made between the receivers and the defensive backs. The contact that can't be made by the defensive backs to be able to break these receivers off of their routes really hampers their ability to defend. Very few defensive backs now are locked down corners, or safeties that can come up and make those kind of plays without being physical with the receiver. So you have 6'1", 6'2", 6'6", 6'5" receivers now that you can't touch after 5 yards, and they're going down the field unmolested, and all you have to do is have a quarterback with a cannon and some consistency and accuracy, and it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different ballgame. So they've made this way. This is no mistake. The NFL knows what generates revenue. Running the ball does not generate revenue anymore. What generates revenue, what fans love to see, are the bombs. The long balls down the field. They love to see the aerial attacks. But everything goes in stages. Why it was so hard for me to get chop blocking banned is because Dennis Green asked me the question, well, how are we supposed to run the football if we can't chop block? And so I had to explain to him, you don't kill your guys in practice, so why would you change your philosophy in the game unless it's for intimidation? But that was the mentality. But you had Terrell Davis, you had great running backs at that time that were making things happen, and so that was their bread and butter. Now you've got receivers that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", jumping out of the ceiling of these stadiums and making phenomenal plays, and that's what you want to see. You've got your premier guys across the league, not just one or two good quarterbacks. We're talking Kurt Warner, talking Brett Favre, both Mannings, Drew Brees. The league now is littered with wonderful talent. Phillip Rivers, hate to admit that, but these are some talented quarterbacks, and how can you not capitalize on that? Remember, the NFL is a money-making machine. They're going to capitalize on who's making it work.
That's true. One of the things I do notice is that big plays are very important in winning in the NFL. I think that defenses are still very good, even though the rules are set up to help the passing game a little bit. But I noticed that teams that require the 12, 13, 14 play drives to score are at a severe disadvantage in the NFL today. Don't you think that you need someone on the offensive side like a Deshaun Jackson, or someone who, like maybe even a Reggie Bush at the running back position, who can catch a pass at or near the line of scrimmage and has the ability to take it 80 yards in a heartbeat. Do you think that that's very important, and it goes away from just a fundamental team that marches down the field, matriculates down the field, so to speak?
I do, and that's where you see the running back by committee now. That's why the Wildcat has become so popular, because these teams are now staffing different types of running backs. I would not be shocked if we saw sometime down the road the wishbone come back because of the speed of these big running backs now. You have all this talent, you have to put it on the field and use it. So the Reggie Bushes of the world, the Darren Sproles of the world, with me it was the Bellamy's of the world. When you remember all these guys, there's a role for them now as either the third down back or the back can get the ball to. You put the ball in the athlete's hand and make it happen. And now they're designing plays around it, like the Wildcat bringing that out of college, that can make things happen. And with the speed now, the thing that made these plays not work back in the past was because the NFL didn't have the speed like it was in college, where you have these premier universities that had 4.2, 4.3 guys, and the other colleges they were playing couldn't match up at speed-wise, and those plays would work. Then it all evened out in the NFL, but now you're seeing running backs running 4.3s. Vernon Davis ran a 4.35, 4.2 almost, and he's a 250-pound, 260-pound tight end. The speed now is ramping up on the offensive side, and these guys are smart, and they're taking advantage of it. You have to have somebody that's going to be a game breaker, but you also have to have the Jerome Bettises of the world to hammer you, to make you play nice and put that 8 and 9 in the box.